energizing your soul through the inspired Word of God. This is your daily devotional reading.
Our Daily Bread, July 31st. It is finished. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when the sun refused to shine? It is finished. Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent. Matthew chapter 27, verses 50 and 51. Jesus thirsted in his agony, and they gave him vinegar and gall to drink. But when he tasted it, he refused it. The angels had viewed the agony of their loved commander until they could behold no longer, and they veiled their faces from the sight. The sun refused to look upon the awful scene. Jesus cried with a loud voice which struck terror to the hearts of his murderers. It is finished. Then the veil of the temple was rent from the top to the bottom. The earth shook and the rocks rent. Great darkness was upon the face of the earth. The last hope of the disciples seemed swept away as Jesus died. Many of his followers witnessed the scene of his sufferings and death, and their cup of sorrow was full. Satan did not then exult as he had done. He had hoped to break up the plan of salvation, but it was laid too deep. And now, by the death of Christ, he knew that he himself must finally die and his kingdom be given to Jesus. He held a council with his angels. He had prevailed nothing against the Son of God, and now they must increase their efforts and with their power and cunning turn to his followers. They must prevent all whom they could from receiving the salvation purchased for them by Jesus. By so doing, Satan could still work against the government of God. Also, it would be for his own interest to keep from Jesus as many as possible. For the sins of those who are redeemed by the blood of Christ will at last be rolled back upon the originator of sin, and he must bear their punishment, while those who do not accept salvation through Jesus will suffer the penalty of their own sins. The life of Christ had ever been without worldly wealth, honor, or display. His humility and self-denial had been in striking contrast to the pride and self-indulgence of the priests and elders. His spotless purity was a continual reproof of their sins. They despised him for his humility, holiness, and purity. But those who despised him here will one day see him in the grandeur of heaven and the unsurpassed glory of his Father. In the judgment hall, he was surrounded by enemies who were thirsting for his blood, but those hardened ones who cried out, "His blood be on us and on our children," will behold him an honored king. All the heavenly host will escort him on his way with songs of victory, majesty, and might to him that was slain, yet lives again, a mighty conqueror. This passage was taken from Early Writings, pages 177 and 178. Our Daily Bread, July 31st.
I encourage you to be ye doers of the word and not hearers only. Thank you for listening, and be sure to join us tomorrow for your daily devotional reading.